In the closing years of the Sengoku era, Japan was consumed by perpetual conflict. The fires of war raged on, spreading deep into the mountains, to the land of Ashina.
Spider Wolf does whatever a spider wolf does. Does he swing from a rope? Yes, he does, cause he's the Spider Wolf. Hello everyone. Today we're diving into Sekiro. We're gonna be slashing and slicing our way across Feudal Japan. But before we start, I want to give a shout out to the awesome FOXFIRE for her great artwork, and to ask you to support the content below with a like, a comment on what you think about the video and the game, and subscribe for more content like this and more. Now let's dive into the game, shall we? Developed by From Software, a frequent developer on this channel, I must admit, but just to reiterate, they are responsible for Kingsfield, Armored Core, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Demon Souls, and more. They are quite prolific, and without compromising their ethics like say EA or Konami, though that implies they had ethics to begin with, using a lot of the principles of Dark Souls, that being the focus on difficulty, but with a heavier focus on more traditional storytelling like cutscenes, and a new style of gameplay that's a bit of a departure from some of their more recent outings. The game also takes inspiration from the Tenchu series, which From Software also had a hand in making back in the day, and definitely takes in account some of the stealth elements, which also helps differentiate it from Dark Souls and makes for an interesting experience. In this game, you play as Wolf, a one-armed shinobi out to save his master. With the aid of a couple other people at a temple, including Emma the Doctor, and a one-armed Buddha carver, along with a man who cannot die and a variety of other NPCs. You must journey through feudal Japan to save the young lord. In your way stands the Ashina clan. Overall, the story is nice, the characters are compelling, and they are all really fun to listen to and watch. Overall, I enjoy the story of Sekiro a lot. The gameplay is honestly stellar. It's so much fun to zip around the world, sneaking around, picking off enemies wherever you can, farming up what you need to upgrade your character and equipment. The game definitely deviates heavily from how Dark Souls did its leveling up and upgrade system. However, it does keep the currency element alive, punishing you with the loss of some of your cash whenever you die, unless you can recover it, or unseen aid prompts saving your loot and XP, because you also lose XP towards your next skill point as well when you die. The game also incorporates many stealth elements as well, such as sneaking through tall grass, shimmying along ledges and under buildings, scaling buildings and walls, and even grappling along high peaks to escape foes. A feature that does return from Souls, however, is the parry and riposte system, however being modified into the death blow system. A death blow will often kill an enemy outright unless they're a mini-boss or boss, in which case they tend to take multiple hits. To activate a death blow, you must parry or repeatedly attack until their posture breaks, allowing an opening to attack them for a critical or lethal blow. You can also activate death blows by sneaking up on a foe, and in the case of mini-bosses, this will let you knock off an entire pip off that bar without even being at risk. Mini-bosses and regular bosses, once killed, also do not return to the area. And speaking of, the enemy variety within the game is also excellent, using a blend of traditional samurai, ninja, shinobi, onis, mythical figures, and more. Sekiro has a fantastic roster of foes. I love how many enemies all have specific things that once learned you can use to say take advantage of, such as the fact that beast creatures scare easily at the sound of loud noises, like say firecrackers exploding in their face. That's one way to have a blast. Now keep in mind that this game does keep From Software's tradition of a difficulty and experience-based gameplay. This means that there is only one difficulty, so games journalists, stay away. For people that actually care about the game's creative liberty and experience though, this is a great experience. I propose that From Software actually add a difficulty mode called Games Journalist, and instead of making it easier, make it twice as hard. The controls are also excellent within this game. They feel smooth, they're responsive, and it's honestly just a blast to play. Especially as you learn those timing windows and just obliterate those foes that gave you so much trouble before. Oh yes, another stellar area. This game is beautiful. The graphics are lovingly stylized, with a nice blend of realism and detailing. The voice actors all do a great job. I love that one boss on the horse, Gyoba. I love how he introduces himself and how he makes it quite clear you're not getting through that gate without defeating him. The game is filled with terrific looking and sounding enemies and people. The soundtrack is also stellar, another aspect that From Software usually excels at. This time, much like the rest of the game, the OST takes heavy inspiration on Japanese traditional music and sounds. Sounding quite fitting to a feudal era game like this. The game also ran quite smoothly. I didn't notice any frame drops and it ran silky smooth, which is impressive given how fast paced and action packed the game can be. Honestly, this game's a definite buy. If you enjoy From Software games, but want something in a different flavor, quite like Bloodborne was, then give this game a spin. It's great fun to play, it looks great, it runs well, and it doesn't compromise its artistic vision for a whiny little baby like James Davenport, a professional games journalist that required cheat mods to make the game easier to beat after he wrote a guide about how to play the game. That's right, he's passing off his flawed, cheated experience while also claiming he knows enough about the game to help you beat it. If you're not afraid of a challenge, then jump right on in and enjoy the experience. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please be sure to support the artist down below as well as my content. This has been Cor, and I'll see you next time.
Dead, dead, dead. You are dead, dead, dead.
Thought you were hot, guess what? You're not.
You are dead, dead, dead.
You brought your whole adventure to a screeching halt.
You are dead, dead, dead.
Your heart has stopped and your brain is cold.
You were so dead,
And now your body is starting to mold.
you were so dead.
This dimension cuts like a knife.
You are dead, dead, dead.
What a pitiful waste of a human life.
You are dead, dead, dead.
Your heart has stopped and your brain is cold.